More than 700 people have crossed the channel in the busiest day of the year so far. We're going to read into this more from Sky News, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from Sky News with the headline of more than 700 people have crossed the channel in the busiest day of the year so far. The Home Office says 711 people have made the journey in 14 boats on Wednesday, suggesting that an average of 51 people per boat. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share this across social media so others are notified of this video. So obviously you can see the date this article come out, but still, there is still no sign of the numbers really dropping whatsoever. Now, obviously, the Rwanda bill has passed, and obviously there was the volunteer to go to Rwanda and was paid by taxpayer money. And obviously the idea of the whole point of the Rwanda premises was obviously to try and deter people from coming to the UK. Well, so far, we've not seen any much of that change. People are still trying to come to the UK. And they're not just coming by boats, they're obviously trying to do it by hiding in trucks and whatnot down at Calais as well. So there's obviously that way that they're trying to do it. And many people are, and there's still people sadly have lost, losing their lives trying to cross over. We need a solution to this. At the moment, the Conservatives are failing to do this. Reform are saying things that appeal to the extreme, to those who are saying the right things, but in terms of appealing to the extreme. But in all seriousness, Reform don't have a clue what they're doing when they're talking about it. They're just telling people what they want to hear. They don't actually have a legal plan to do this. And Labour are not very clear about their plans either. But the Rwanda policy is not something that's going to work, guys. In all seriousness, and people are dying here. You know, we've said this before, and we said this again about how many that these people are dying as a result of it. You know, these smugglers and these gangs are telling them about, obviously feeding into their mindset about the prospects of coming to the UK, the benefits of coming to the UK and whatnot, which is why these gangs need to be stopped. But there also needs to be a legal route for people to be able to come to the UK as well. As long as there's no legal routes, we will always have people crossing on the boats. If you want to stop the boats, the only way to do it, the main way to do it, is by creating legal routes for people to come to the UK. But I keep hearing this premise that the UK is full. And yes, we do have an immigration problem. And yes, it is quite a high level. And you want to know why it's a high level? It's because the Conservative government haven't been clearing the backlogs in its numbers here, because they made austerity cuts to civil servants in departments, including in the Home Office, which is why there's not enough bodies in there to deal with these current backlogs. And a lot of them are now being diverged to help prepare for this Rwanda scheme. So instead of clearing more of the backlog, now it's going to be even less people clearing the backlog as a result of this Rwanda policy. Yeah, frustrating, I know. So more than 700 migrants arrived in the UK after crossing the English Channel in a single day, a new record so far for the year so far. The Home Office says 711 people made the journey in 14 boats on Wednesday, suggesting an average of 51 people per boat. It takes the provisional number for the number of arrivals this year so far to 8,278. This is 34% higher than the total at the equivalent point last year and 19% higher than the total at this stage in 2022. Last year, 29,000 migrants arrived in the UK altogether, which was down 36% on record 45,000 arrivals in 2022. This is a source from the Home Office here. This was updated on data updated at 11/23rd of May 2024 here from the reference. Number of people crossing small boats is higher than this time last year, culminating number of detention and crossings in the English Channel and small boats this year. So if I just pull it down a little bit so you can see in numbers of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, you can see that as 2018, 2019, very low. 2020 is still under 10,000. 2021, nearly 30,000. 2023 last year, obviously, was less, but 2 years ago we had nearly 45,000. Now you also have to take into account when speaking about these, take some of these numbers into account. You have to bear in mind the there's other factors, obviously, other conflicts that have taken off, obviously, since then as well. There's the conflict in Sudan that's kicked off last year as well. So so numbers from there will play a factor. There's obviously the rise of climate change, the heat waves from those crossing over from Africa into Europe as well. That's playing a factor. Obviously, the war in Ukraine, those refugees, some of them been able to claim legal asylum systems. Some were not all fully aware of it. So some may have come across illegally, possibly as well. And there's obviously other nations and factors to take in. So there's lots of factors to take in when looking at these statistical numbers. So I think that's really, really important. And yeah, so interesting. So the government's Rwanda deportation plan aims to act as a deterrent to stop the boats, one of Rishi Sunak's key pledges. Since the Safety of Rwanda Asylum and Immigration Act became law last week, 1,611 migrants have crossed the English Channel. Legislation aims to revive the stalled scheme within has faced a repeated legal challenge since it was announced 2 years ago. Under the plan, people who have entered the UK unauthorised will be sent to Rwanda and have their asylum claim processed here. Since the passage of the latest legislation, tensions have grown between the UK and Ireland after people entered the Republic to escape facing deportation. But the government in Westminster said it will not take people back until a reprimandal agreement is put in place to allow returns to France for people who cross the Channel. No one has been deported to Rwanda yet, though this week a failed asylum seeker voluntarily chose to go to Kigali once their application to stay in the UK failed under a different scheme. The government says removal flights are set to take off in 9 to 11 weeks, with the first people to be deported detained in Wednesday after officers raided their homes. And there's been a lot of that. It's been starting on the rise as well, that the UK's border forces have been going to places, raiding lots of immigrants now, getting them ready for the deportation scheme to Rwanda now. So there's a lot of that taking place as well. But obviously, still at the moment, as things go, guys, the numbers are not dropping. As the time of this recording, obviously we'll see in the next few months how the numbers fare. But at the moment, there's no sign of the numbers dropping whatsoever. People are still coming to this country, and it doesn't seem to be any change in that whatsoever. So is the Rwanda scheme working as of right now? No, but let's obviously have to wait and see as the numbers continue. But what do you guys make of these numbers? What do you guys make of more than 700 people crossing its channel in one of the busiest days of the year so far, in comparison to other record number of days? How concerned are you about these numbers? And what do you think should be done? Let me know your thoughts and more in the comment section down below. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video. And subscribe, because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further, financially support me and the work I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p. Or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content there as well. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope to catch you all very, very soon.